administration in the country, leading to increased revenue generation, improved business environment, and a boost in domestic and foreign investments. An aide to the president, Onanuga, said the president assented to the bills. The president's assent was witnessed by the Senate President, Speaker of the House of Reps, Senate Majority Leader, and House Majority Leader, Chairman of the Senate Committee on Finance, and his House counterparts. Now, usually with taxes, the big question is that taking more money from my pocket, and does it guarantee better service? So our conversation will be how these bills affect you and I, who happen to be the common man, affect business people, and, well, everyone who is Nigerian. My guest is Mr. Ignatius Chukwu. He's a regional editor for BusinessDay newspaper and a financial policy expert. You're welcome, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, my dear Chinedu.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm okay.
Okay. So, a straightforward and easy way to ask this question: how will these bills affect me, the common man, and the other common man listening, and business people? How would it affect Nigerians?
Thank you. It's a pity that when policies are marshaled out, the debate is always negative.
Okay.
So it robs the ordinary man the opportunity to be educated, properly educated, before you now pick out the areas that are negative.
Yeah.
So when the analysis dwells more on negative, so everybody, the perception becomes so negative that the positives will disappear. So the same thing with budget. When the budget is rolled out, everybody says they didn't give agriculture enough, they didn't give education enough. And I asked them, why do you approach budget only from the right side? Right side is giving. Left side is entry. Where is the money coming from? Are you sure the amount, as they say, 54 trillion naira? Are you sure you will get 54 trillion naira? Was it based on the proper pricing of fuel? The tax they want to collect, are they sure they will collect it? So what is the deficit? What is the gap? Yeah. And this gap now, if it does not come, which is going to come through loans. So, you see, I want to pay more attention in that side.
Okay.
On that side. So, as the tax is now, I would say, what were the problems before now?
Yeah. That needed reform in the first place.
That needed reform. So, if you approach it from there, you will now be objective to say, yes, this problem has existed. This is the solution now. Before we now come to, can they even do what they promise?
Okay, that's a good one.
Number one, we knew was that states were taking the federal government to court over VAT. So, what is VAT? Some states were saying, I buy Coca-Cola in Nomahia, but the headquarters of Coca-Cola is Lagos. So when I buy in Nomahia, it means the Zumahia revenue that Coca-Cola will attract. And then, when it's time for VAT to be calculated, it is calculated in the headquarter zone of that company.
Yeah.
So people are saying, no, how can all other 35 states, including Abuja, consume in their various states? But then the VAT is calculated for one state. And then they will go away with plenty VAT allocation and other things. So those things were causing quarrels. And then when you collect VAT in a particular state, should the state that collected it take less or more? So I remember this case was in court. But now, with the new VAT law, it simply means that it has been redefined that VAT revenue stays where it was generated.
Yeah.
Then the sharing goes this way, the new sharing formula and all of that.
Okay.
So you can see we have identified the problem. We have now said, okay, the VAT law, instead of judicial resolution, we're now talking about a legislative resolution. Now, another major area we should talk about is, me as a business journalist, I am interested in anything that touches ease of doing business.
Yeah.
Because the difference between my country and other countries, the difference is simply in the processes with which businesses are conducted. So, if I'm an investor looking at Africa, where do I go to? I look at Rwanda, Kenya, Ghana, Nigeria. So whereas opportunities will be plenty in Nigeria, but the processes, registering your company, land laws, CFO, blah, 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 blah. So the former president began to fight for ease of doing business. I began to set up a committee, ease of doing business. Some states started doing it. What does that mean? Simplify the processes through which business is done. And resolution, conflict resolution when business comes. If I set up a business with you, and now we'll be good friends. When we have dispute, do we have to go and hire assassins to kill each other? Or don't we have a resolution mechanism?
Yeah.
If it's going to be judicial, how long? How can a case linger for 15 years, 20 years? A business case that's supposed to be resolved quickly. So some countries will look at all these things and say, okay, to acquire land, this is how long it will go. To build, look at the processes, simplify the processes. So these are the things that the tax law is saying. Instead of a business to revenue, state revenue, local government revenue, these are formal ones. Then you now get an arm of informal tax collectors.
Okay.
Paying the formal. Just one group to assist this. So which means it's a business. So they began to say, can't to play. And this is So this is not up to 50 million or whatever. You will not pay tax again. So there's a huge relief downstairs is proper. So digitalizing the process of tax assessment. They have done their research and they say, remember, I used to with he has played in tax.
Yeah.
To know, he has played in tax.
Yeah.
To know, there's no problems. There's no problems. Most tax that issue of tax business coming and not. So the best revenue expert is less by the appearing towards the east of that. So you can say that most who know what the problem is, so those who know what the solution is, they seem to be people in power now. So in that case, system is being up. Breed the small fish in the water. So I think a farmer you back tell them a job fish. You be more having one fish all that. Let me for that question.
Yes, indeed. I still have conversations that you answer 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have to go to questions. Now, there is relief for the bottom 8%. And now the target goes at the top. Wouldn't be at brown.
Okay. About the will not be thinking.
Okay.
Because if you think that's a version, not tax, so small at all. Jesus. These people hide them and then I say, okay, tax will now take about 250 billion. So the profit will come from 900 something to 700 something.
Yeah.
That means a company is paying 250 billion naira. What you need to capture, you need only one tax officer to go there. But you need, if you want to catch all the poor people in one local government to pay tax, what you will spend in collecting the tax.
You need an army.
You need an army to collect it. How much? Somebody earning 60,000. He will swear and deny, but you told 2% of that.
Yeah.
So it makes the man to hire the best accountants to hide their income. 2, to hire the best lawyers to defend them. So what that means, if you crack one person, when you crack one, he can give 2,000 to a liar. But what you have to do, then more on these people at the low income. So they say, so now we ended up to small to Taraba. Anyway, that's still more there's no complaint. But there are some states are so backward that if you tax from the poor, not even catch those people, because it be more committed, more digitized, and more efficient. That's for the business.
Okay, so
it's not about them or Christians. What that they want to do is operation. Nobody escapes. The need to escape that.
Which is really true. Business will they consider a bad business environment? My business having more impact will consider that business and say, okay, this translates a better business environment because now the system of collecting tax is better, even though I have to pay more. Will I see that way as a business person?
That's your days.
If I pay all my taxes, I'm paying more. If I elevate, right? But think about it. If I used to pay 10 naira where I was supposed to pay 50, and now the system ensures I pay my 50, I'm paying more.
So that means they are being more compliant. At least you have a clear conscience that now you pay the right tax. But that launches us another problem. Taxpayers are actually not happy paying tax.
Yeah.
But what encourages tax compliance everywhere in the world is if you can have tangible evidence of why you are paying this.
That it works.
So after paying tax, you are still not free. You still need to hire 4 mopo for you to go to toilet, right? So what is tax for? I thought we get to that.
Okay. Well, we take a break now, and after that, we talk some more. It is how these tax laws affect you and I. Stay with us.
Nigeria Info on
92.3
Headline News.
Chinedu here. We're having conversations about 4 tax reform bills that have been signed, assented by the president. They are the Nigeria Tax Bill, Nigeria Tax Administration Bill, the Nigeria Revenue Service Establishment Bill, and the Joint Revenue Board Establishment Bill. And according to official reports, they will be operational from January 2026. So you and I have 6 months to brace ourselves for impact. My guest is Mr. Ignatius Chukwu. He's a regional editor of BusinessDay newspaper and a financial policy expert. You're welcome once again, sir.
Thank you, my dear.
Okay. So before the break, you were talking about the problems that these reforms were looking to solve. And as with many things in Nigeria, policy-wise, it looks good on paper. Implementation is another conversation. But then the dividends, the benefits. If Nigerians do not see the result of the taxes they pay, as they have not seen for a long time. But in this case, with these new 4 laws, where can they run to?
Well, where do taxpayers run to? The problem in Nigeria has been what you pointed out. And where we are now is, with reference to the 4 new laws, do we wait for government to prove sincerity before we pay the taxes? Or do we pay tax first and then hope that the government will do what they promised? That becomes a very difficult junction. But you see, tax has a philosophy.
Okay.
And that philosophy is that they don't beg you to pay tax. And they are not owing you, they're not saying until we prove ourselves we pay tax. Tax began as the authority of the sovereign to collect tax from you. 2 things you owe the sovereign. 1, you drop all arms. That is a fundamental part of the social contract.
Okay.
Everybody down your arms, so that the sovereign alone will collect all the arms and becomes a superman. So that if one person now messes up, he will use maximum force. That's what social contract is trying to talk about. Keep your door. Let us avenge for you. That is where punishment and the law and police will come in. So that is 1. Then number 2 is pay your tax. That's the second obligation. When you have downed your arms, then you pay your tax. Then you now believe that the sovereign will use the tax well for the benefit of all of you. So any system of government that does not guarantee protection of those people that entered into social contract, though I didn't know where they used to sign that social contract, we always hear about it. But it is that understanding that there is a government.
Yeah.
It is that assurance that if somebody breaches your right, that something will happen to that person. So any government, any country where they allow that social contract to break down, where citizens can now face danger and nobody will help them, if you allow it to come, it means anarchy has come. It means social chaos has come. Then your right to collect my tax is shaking. Are you seeing it?
Yeah.
Because within that social contract, where I am obligated to paying tax to you.
It's a contract now.
It's a contract.
Yeah.
So, which means you are under obligation to protect me. So why should I be traveling? Then after paying tax, I hire my own mopo, dig my own borehole, and get and send my children to private school. So after paying all these taxes, I now hire everything private to do the same thing that you who collected the tax supposed to do. You see where whenever you raise issue of tax in Nigeria and taxation in Nigeria, you have problems selling tax story. You have problem because the citizens don't think they are getting the benefit. So this time again, although the new tax regime is saying let's free more people away from tax, but what I have seen is that informal tax collectors will not allow you. The person who has a shop at my one or at oil mill, his problem may not be government people coming to collect tax.
Yeah.
It may be armies. One group will come collect, another group will come. So by 10 a.m. he has paid up to 5 taxes to different people. So when you are talking about that government has given him relief, he may not even understand what you mean by relief.
Yeah.
Because the taxes he's paying don't even fall under formal tax, where government legacy may have impact on him. So it may mean that that class of people will not feel whatever government is trying to do to them. You are worried.
Yes, I am. I genuinely am worried because the word reform means that a cracked or broken system will be fixed, right? And if it is not fixed, then the crack is even wider. An example of what you just talked about in upholding a contract, especially a social contract, at the local level, I was at a barbering salon a couple of months ago, and the neighborhood where this salon was located, their neighborhood watch and everything, they had the security levy that they paid. So the guy who owned the salon had not paid his own levy. That day where I was there, they came and said, Oga, this one, that one, that one. And the guy said that on the day he paid the last one, that same night, they entered his shop and took his TV.
Double taxation.
So that's a good one. That's double taxation, never small. So why will he pay
again
security levy where he could not be secured on the same day? And they said, no, it's not like, they knew this one. They tried to, pacify him and all of that. But of course, he angrily said he was not going to pay. I don't know how that was resolved. But it just shows the reality of the taxpayer and the government, whether or not they are able to uphold the terms of that contract. Now, it has been signed into law, but it becomes operational in January. There is a 6-month window for anybody who is concerned about it to brace themselves. I know that this question would seem unpatriotic, but is 6 months enough?
I don't think they were actually giving you, I don't think they're checking enoughness of time.
Okay.
That all taxes begin in January.
Yeah.
So a tax that has already been paid in 2025, the law can't affect it. So if the law says you should not pay again, you cannot say they should return your money. Okay. So they decided to say, make it January effective. So that all the documentation, the things they need to print, the receipts that will reflect the new reality will be done now. So that assessment is January to December.
Yeah.
So they will...
The fiscal year.
That's the fiscal year. I think that is the reason. I don't think that they did this that you prepare.
And I thought I was a stakeholder. I wanted to feel special. Okay. So we'd like to hear from you. 0817-923-0002. With the administration of taxes in Nigeria, the system that the government has run, do you believe that this new tax system will protect your interest? Do you believe that the administration of this tax will somehow bring about some difference? 0817-923-0002. Please turn off your radio as you call. Hello, good evening.
Sam Morocco.
Good evening.
Good evening, my brother.
What's your name?
Comrade Clinton from Bori.
All right, go ahead.
Your guests have spoken the minds of many Nigerians. Paying tax is a social contract. We've been paying tax in this country and we don't have returns on the taxes we pay. Our public schools are dilapidated. The structures are very poor. Our public health system is very poor. I think that if the government wants us to trust in what they are doing, they should also hold on to their own end of the bargain. Deliver the dividends of the money we paid. Give us back these social amenities that we pay the taxes for. Yes, we are in a renewed hope agenda, what we call era, where Mr. President has asked us to trust in what he's doing and want to believe that in bringing in these tax policies that actually is of doing business rather. Look, small scale business owners can actually go into business without the fear of being overtaxed for what they are doing. It's something that we must embrace as well. But we also want government at all levels to hold to their own end of the bargain. Give us back social amenities for the tax we are paying.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Clinton. Akanto calls from Bori. Hello, Akanto. Good evening.
Good evening, Oracle, the great man.
Good evening.
Good evening, my Oga, Ignatius, Chukwu, my own Oga on the social media. I greet you, sir.
Thank you very much, my dear.
You see, you're not that. You know, we do fun thing on social media at times.
Yes.
You are my friend.
Yes.
And I quite listen to Oga with a business expert and business. My problem with our sector or our institution, we don't have a strong institution. But we have married men, governors, people who come into government with strict mouth. Yet in their opinion, I saw they change the nomenclature of what they call it, National Inland Revenue, like that. It's just nomenclature change. But the effectiveness of law is what I'm concerned over. Okay, let us look at the commodity taxation. We have some sector people are taxed from drive, you pay drive one, you pay drive one. Even on the road, the common road we use. Why not remove all these police? I heard in the news a few days ago that they want to remove a pocket from Nigerian police and they demolish all those things to cancel what they call it, where they can collect money on the road. So I don't know what they call it.
Checkpoints.
All these things, when you pay for your goods and services on the road, as a peasant farmer, as a peasant business trader, you pay heavily on your goods. And when you go to your shop, you won't come and open tax again. Because let me either you like and pay tax for him. And all of like what the husband said, we must escape from. As people you pay, even as a politician you pay tax, as a farmer, as a trader you pay tax. My concern is a multiple taxation.
Okay, Akanto, I'm sorry, but the network is
bad now.
Yeah, but of course, solid points he made. And I think you pointed to multiple taxation earlier because that is at the local level, the state. And so he said, I believe I remember, that the average businessman might not really feel the impact of these new tax policies if the same people who knock on his door yesterday are still knocking today and maybe even more. So something has to be done in that sector. I'll take Augustus's call. Okay, I think I should do that now because we're running out of time. Augustus calls from Bori. Hello, Augustus.
Yes, it's Augustus on the line.
All right, go ahead.
From Bori, the traditional headquarters of the Ogoni people.
Okay, go ahead, please.
It's unfortunate.
What is unfortunate?
Many years ago, the federal government of Nigeria just promised that by the year 2000 there will be potable water in Nigeria. And that time, the poor, including my humble self, we are paying our tax. Now that we are exempted from tax, are we sure we will get water again to drink? If the time we are paying tax, the East-West Road took more than 20 years to repair. And now they say they are exempting us, the poor, from paying tax. My brother, this is our country. They say took oil and loot the resources. And then now they say we should not pay tax. then the meaning is that no, there will be no school again. There will be no hospital again. Already the rich people, all their children are in London and other places schooling. This country, you people who are journalists, you are members of the first estate in Rim. Talk to them.
Okay.
The mockery they are doing to the poor is too much. Caesar from Bolingoli.
Thank you very much, Augustus. It's the talking that's happening right now. Is these conversations enlightening the public that is a part of the mandate of the media? Hello, good evening. Caption from HA.
I think what your guest did here is just to get me acquainted on this, what this tax reform stands for.
That was the plan.
When we saw that initial quarrel from the north, that this tax reforms is going to affect them. Based on what he has explained in your studio now, I think I can assure you that this is a good one. The issue here is that Nigerians does not pay tax as required. Though Nigerian government has refused to provide amenities that require us from evading from taxes. But if you're exempting the poor from paying tax, and you are saying that from the statistics, the majority of Nigerians are poor, and I don't know the statistics they are getting from where the government is getting their own statistics, where they say the rich is only the one that's going to pay tax. And being in a country where people evade tax so much, and the legislative aspect of it and the judicial aspect of it, I don't know how they're going to handle it. But I can tell you, for me, this is a good bill that the president has signed into law. But we are waiting for the implementation comes January. I'm talking about if you don't provide amenities that will now showcase the level of taxes we pay. I don't think that one is going to be realistic because based on the way we do our things. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Caption. Regardless of the source of data, it is quite clear in almost every country in the world, I don't know, there might be exceptions, the poor always outnumber the rich. Right? No matter where you go in the world, there will always be more poor and lower tax bracket people than the rich. So that's always going to be the case. It hasn't changed in thousands of years of history. It's not going to start now.
Some even quote 2%. 2% of the populace control 90% of the resources.
Yeah.
So even 20% we're talking about is even too big.
All right. I thought I heard if someone's salary is below 1 million, you won't pay certain taxes anymore. Please break it down. Well, this message came way earlier, but he had spoken to that. Those in lower tax brackets will be exempt from a lot. Good day, Sam. This is not... you asked your guest a striking question. The question is, if an individual pays his tax and the government fails to fulfill its own part, where will the individual run to? That's from Silas. That where is a very big where. The new tax law will only protect big investors and not SMEs because the local non-formal tax collectors will still collect multiple taxes, from which no protection from police and others. Best from Port Harcourt. Very true. Professor Chukwu's analysis is always the best. But Sam, why is it that the poorest of the poor will not feel the same impact? Sam, why? My brother, this is how they ask me. I'm not in position. So, Mr. Chukwu, we have just a few minutes on the clock. So what is our fate at this time? For those who might not be as represented, for those who are still skeptical, for those who do not know enough, for those who have paid taxes and, well, they don't see the result of these taxes, what is the fate of the common man?
Well, number one, the common man has to, the appeal has to go to those who control informal tax collectors. They are the ones making the informal people not to benefit from such, reliefs.
Yeah.
Number two, if you ask me, if you make me a president today, I will put one big levy, and that levy will be security levy. Okay. Of all the things we cry about in this country, if you give Nigerians freedom to travel when they want to travel, if they can travel around, forget aeroplane, if it can be expensive because of aviation fuel, we can understand. But I am assuring you that many Nigerians, a large quantity of Nigerians, they travel by road and train.
Yeah, majority.
Majority. So traveling on road is where the economy is. Our economy is not in the air.
True.
So all the trucks, all the Sienna bus, and all moving people from one state to the other. So commuters. Commuting is the branch of the economy. So whatever we make, a T-seater bus carried away, kidnapped, and so insecurity is the bigger threat than if you give us tax relief, 100% tax relief. Insecurity is bigger. So if we say whether you are tax exempt or not, but a special fund, and they say we need so trillions to fight insecurity,
Guaranteed
and
safety.
then we now pay it. Then when we pay it, we are sure that the helicopters will be brought, everything will be brought to secure our forests and our roads. Nigerians will pay tax.
Okay. That's a good one. Thank you very much, Mr. Chukwu, for your time. It's always wonderful doing this with you. We appreciate it, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Coming up in about 5 minutes, it's 6 o'clock, and the major news follows. After that, it's open season. Stay with us.
Info. We'll be right back after this.
All right, class.